Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Good Woo. This week, we have a full moon. We're actually in its orb now, and I really feel like this moon is going to be potent. I mean, right now, I'm recording this on Sunday, and it's exact today. But I really think we're going to be feeling it the whole week, because part of why this moon is so special, first of all, it's a super moon. So it's closer to the earth. It's going to be affecting the earth and our bodies more, right? Because we're 80% water. But also this moon is opposite the sun and Mercury, which are conjunct. So this is leading us to a lot of insights. When Mercury is involved, there could be documents, writing, but also just like an understanding of where we want to be moving forward. And also, because this is a Capricorn full moon, a real look at the past. And I want to encourage you guys to keep that positive, meaning you look back to go, okay, well, how would I have done it differently? And how am I going to do it differently in the future? I feel like this moon is going to have a lot of us thinking about the last 3 years and maybe mistakes we made, choices we wish we would have made, or maybe, like I said, the mistakes. But I just want to keep saying, like, be gentle, because the insights that we take with this moon are long lasting. Because of the relationship this moon has with Saturn, we can really let go of some past trauma pretty like once and for all. This moon has a pretty intense relationship with Pluto. And as we leave the orb of this full moon, Mercury is going to be opposing Pluto, which means our ability to understand, communicate, and process the deep, dark depths of our past, of our self, of our shadow is being presented to us. And so this is a great time to be in therapy, or to have sessions, have healing sessions. This is a great time to have difficult conversations about the past, or grief and trauma, betrayal. And it's a time to bring it to the light. Full moons are always about illumination. So this moon is giving us a chance to illuminate any darkness or shadow, pain that we've been sitting on, so that we can have space to create what we really truly want. I mean, that's another part of this moon. Because the energy it takes to mentally and emotionally manifest your desired end or goal, and increasingly that, as we get older, that it takes more energy, the bandwidth, but also the nature of society right now and what we're going through as a collective. We're really having to decide where we're going to place our energy, because we don't have it for everything that's on the table. This moon helps us clarify, where are we going to place our attention? What are we going to work towards? And the understanding that the really great things in life take time. And so what are you willing to commit to? And you want to make sure that whatever that is something that you truly love. Now, we do have an aspect in this full moon. Venus and Uranus actually Venus and Mars are conjunct in Leo right now, and square. So in a difficult, tense relationship to the planet Uranus, which is all about surprises, right? It's the lightning strike. It's the aha moment. It's the genius within us. It's the unpredictability that we have to embrace and fall in love with. And I think this aspect is really asking us to do that. Like, the way that you thought your life was going to go, what if it's much different, but much better and much more exciting and much more unique? The Venus-Uranus aspect also can bring up new relationships that are kind of outside the box, but also ways that we can love ourselves that are outside the box. Accepting our uniqueness and the vulnerability that comes with that, which inevitably creates a sort of luck because we're just being so authentically, truly who we are. I do feel like we're entering a time when relationships are really going to be shifting and people are really going to be asking themselves, well, how am I going to do this differently? Because I'm not satisfied with where I'm at in this relationship. This is not just romantic relationships. I'm talking about all relationships. The paradigm of what we're willing to tolerate and what we're not willing to tolerate is changing. And we're all becoming more sensitive to the vibration that the chemistry between us and another creates. So don't be surprised if, say, there was a relationship that you tolerated for a long time that now you're just not able to, and give yourself some grace and the other person some grace. You can love people from afar. You don't have to be right up in it, so to speak. So let's pull some cards. We're going to start with the deck. And by the way, for those of you who watch these videos, thank you for being patient with me. I was on a vacation for the last 3 weeks, and now I'm back. So welcome. And let's see, what is our gemstone for this coming week, for this full moon energy? Because like I said, this full moon is really going to be affecting us all week. So let's see. We have blue goldstone. So wonderful. Okay. Medicine Buddha is the mystic or saint that goes with it. So I'm going to go ahead and read the questions first. Are you ready to be healthy, whole, and complete? This is an important question. And I think why this pertains to this full moon is because, when I was talking about the relationship with this moon and Pluto and Mercury and Pluto that we're going to be dealing with all week and really all of July, because Pluto has gone back into Capricorn. So are you ready to be healthy, whole, and complete? Or is staying stuck, being a victim, and being immersed in your trauma more comfortable? That's the second part of that question. Are you ready for it to change for the better? Because a lot of times we get comfortable with the way things are, even when they're not great, but that comfort gives us more security than the option of change. So this is a moon that asks you, do you want to stay long-term the way it's been? Or do you want to go long-term into a future that is exciting, that is really aligned with what you want and who you are? Do you feel the healing vibration within you? Everything you need for this change, for this next step, is already within you. And just the acknowledgement of that allows those tools within you, those insights within you, the connection between you and your higher self to open, to widen, to reveal itself. You have the capacity to heal any challenges or sickness that appear within you or in your surroundings. Because everything begins, any illness or greatness, right? It all begins energetically first. Energetically, emotionally, and then it manifests physically. That is a law of physics. So the question is, are you willing to handle and accept the responsibility that energetically you can change any dynamic that's going on in your life by going to the root of the vibration, by going to the energy, by going to your emotions, your feelings, processing those, and releasing what is ultimately creating discordance that manifests physically. Set your intention to strive toward enlightenment, to be free from the darkness of ignorance. One of the things about this time on the planet Earth is that we are going through a place and space, an area that is filled with photonic light. And we haven't been in this area in like 20,000 years. I think that's the number. Or 12,000. You can Google it. Anyway, what it means though is it's creating more of a contrast because more light is coming in. And so what that means is the shadow, the darkness, we can see it clearer. This is a good thing, but it's quite chaotic. Because once you see something, you can't unsee it. You have to change it. It can't, right? This is happening within us and all around us. And you really can't turn a blind eye to it anymore. And you have to ask yourself, are you willing to look at the more difficult aspects of your own personality? Are you willing to look at the trauma of the past? No longer allowing it to define you, but allowing it to propel you. Okay. Medicine Buddha is our mystic for this blue goldstone. In the company of others, I am a healing presence. Your energy is either uplifting those that are around you, or it's infecting those that are around you. You know what I mean? Vibe control is not something we're taught. We have to figure out how to teach ourselves about it. So knowing that everybody's going to be more sensitive, we're in a full moon, emotions are coming up, white water emotions, they're all coming up. Things that people may be trying to suppress are up. I like to think of full moons as like when a woman is on her menstrual cycle. It's not that she's irrational and making, imagining things to be worse than they are. It's that the sensitivity at which that process within the body, mind, and spirit creates makes things that are discordant even more impossible to just accept and brush under the rug. That's what full moons are like. It's like we're all on, our menstrual cycle in a way, energetically, where we're able to get to a place where it's like, okay, no, I can't deal with this anymore because it's just too discordant. It's too uncomfortable. I have compassion. Peaceful blue vibrations are comforting and calming. That's just a statement. So using blue, particularly, like, look at this. This is a darker blue, which is very Capricorn, actually. And this is a Capricorn full moon. So that deep, dark sea blue, what I'm seeing right now is when, the heat of the moment, because you'll have that with this moon, it's a full moon, even though it's quite auspicious and benevolent and aligned for a clearing and a manifestation of what you truly want. There's still, Uranus is involved. Venus and Mars are in Leo. There's a fiery element to it that we have to not rein in, but we want to be able to harness. And a way to do that is to imagine yourself deep, 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 deep in the dark blue of the ocean. And when we do that, we're literally calling on that vibration that exists. And I just did it for 5 seconds, and instantly there is a change in vibration. Work with this deep, dark blue, deep ocean vibration this week as you navigate this full moon. I have compassion for myself and all living beings. You can love them from afar. If a relationship is proving over and over again to be a drain, if people aren't adhering to your boundaries, respecting your boundaries, respecting you, you can love them from afar. I'm divinely protected and emanate feelings of safety. Again, it makes me go back to this dark blue energy that is speaking to, because, blue is also a symbolic color of Archangel Michael, who is the courageous angelic protector. And so a question I have for you, what is safety for you? What is security? And where are you relying on outside forces to provide that for you? Because this is a moon that will show you where you're doing that and where you're providing that safety and security for yourself. It's a real stark contrast. I release attachments and align with love. Pluto is the planet of attachment, of addiction, of the deep, dark death, of it's an energy and a vibration of transformation in that cycle of death and rebirth. And the more we accept that color of life, so to speak, the more we can work with the life force energy that is suspended when we act like we're never going to die. We don't want to look at, we don't want to look at the darkness. We don't look at taboo subjects and don't want to deal with that person's trauma. And why can't you just get over it? That kind of thinking is really no longer aligned with where we're going. There is power in looking at the difficult, the dark, the gross. It's a part of life. And the more you can be side by side with it, the more energy is allowed to move through you and in your life. Okay, let's look at what is our animal totem for this full moon and this week. I'm going to be making a little post about a totem that was very present on my trip, which was the manta ray, the stingray. I had two separate experiences. Asher and I had two separate experiences with them. And then I found an old ring I had. And I was cleaning out my closet yesterday of this manta ray. So I'm going to be posting about that because it's speaking to me for sure. So let's see what we have as a collective, though. Whoa. That is just too many. Penguin is one of the ones that flew out, and I feel like, let me just, the protective element of the penguins and how they protect their chick and their egg. How are you protecting yourself in a way where you're not cutting yourself off? We got orca whale and we got fox. That's a great combo. And it's interesting because what did we talk about with this dark blue energy? Which is what these creatures, that's their home, that's their vibe, that's their baseline. Dare to do things differently. Sing your wild song. Manifest your travel dreams. Attempt the great journey with confidence. Be loyal. Friends and family are your treasures. Be brave. You are more powerful than you know. Really beautiful. The whales are... I'm going to save that for the patrons because this will go deep. But the point is, they are the largest creatures. And yes, orcas, kill seals and such to eat. But there is a benevolence to their presence. And this really speaks to ask the question of what is power to you? Because Pluto is also the planet of power and how we deal with it and where do we give our power away and how do we impose power on others and vice versa. So that's really up for a perspective change this week because of the Uranus energy. Yeah, fox as well. Keyword clever. So the orca whale was adventure. And I do feel like this is like a summer where who we are at the beginning of the summer and who we are at the end of the summer are going to be very different. And because we have this Venus retrograde, relationships are really going to be shifting. But also we have the nodes going back into Aries and Libra, which means the focus on relationships and whether they're working or not, it's going to be pretty intense. So fox, clever. You are swift and smart. Solutions to problems are easily found. Always listen to your instincts. Resources surround you. Be open to romance. So it's funny because there's an astrologer that I learned so much from, Anne Ortley, and she was saying that this is going to be like the summer of love, which is interesting because of this Venus retrograde. So this full moon there's an element of, well, this is the time to really clear out whatever would be holding you back from having this summer of love. And it can also be a summer of self-love. That doesn't necessarily have to be with another human. How are you going to love yourself more and differently this summer? This moon is going to show you what could be in the way of you being able to do that, or what's in the way of you perhaps being open to romance, or, you know, what's in the way of you really manifesting the abundance that is your birthright. You know, we talk a lot about with Venus, you know, it's love and relationships and romance, but it's also self-love and money and all those, that vibration, all being one vibration. So the more self-love you're practicing, the more money or resources you're going to have. And I think that's when it says resources surround you, be open to romance. It seems like those are two different ideas, but in the Venusian vibration, it's all one thing. Date palm. So we got be open to romance, we got adventure, we got go travel, and then we have the date palm, which is very much, to me, you know, I've just been traveling, and the palm is a pretty magical plant. And the date palm in particular, because the date is sweet and so healing at the same time. And you don't find that combination very often. So let's read about I turned right to it. Don't you love that? Okay. Grace is the key word. I bring you the simple but essential gift of grace. My leaves are simple fronds, yet can be woven into many useful or decorative household items. My fruits, which are sweet and nutritious, hang down in graceful proportion. It is time to show that you can remain graceful even in the face of pressure. Teach yourself how to bend with the winds of change and how to adapt to your current situation so that you can continue to be flexible yet upright. This speaks, in my opinion, this really speaks to this Mars and Venus squaring Uranus, because unpredictable change in our relationships, in our relationship with ourselves, in our finances. And are you able to, where is your ability to adapt? This is one of the things that I love about traveling, because it really shows you where you're stuck. You know, as soon as you say, I need this to feel XYZ, you've given your power away to something. And when we travel, we are forced to create, right, that sense of safety, security, and comfort in brand new circumstances. And I think it creates new neural pathways. It expands our mind, and it increases our ability to connect with our soul, our higher self. So it's a little bit of encouragement from me and, you know, the higher realms to where can you, even if you're not able to take a trip right now, but like, can you change your routine? Go a different way to work, go to a different coffee shop, change up your morning routine, you know, change up your bedtime routine, wear more color. And again, I just want to remind you guys, this dark blue energy, that when it gets overwhelming, go into that deep sea vibration where you, even if it's imagine yourself being the whale. If that deep sea blue is intimidating energetically, imagine that you're the whale. So there couldn't be a predator that would hurt you, you know. Work with this week, you guys. I hope this was helpful. If you want to join me on Patreon for the extended with my group of patrons, please come on over. There's a couple different tiers as far as what you're able to afford. And we're going to get deeper into these cards and pull some more cards too, because, you know, let's get all the information we can this week. Okay, wishing you guys a wonderful week, a blessed full moon. Bye.